you're here. Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. Okay, so,
Yeah.
did you know that the universe is always communicating? The universe is an intelligent source. It is a divine mind. It is a power. It is a source of inspiration, of creativity, of imagination. It's all good. Isn't that great? When you really connect with the idea that God is all good, then you can live out from there. You can take a breath. There's no punishment waiting for you at the end of your life. Sorry if some of you were looking forward to that. There's only love. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Only love. You know, Spirit speaks through everything, not just the sacred texts of old, but through the everyday, ordinary experiences of your life. Everything is filled with intelligence, enlivened by this divine source. Everything that we are comes from the source. How many know it's all a gift? Isn't that great? How do you receive a gift? Thank you. All right? With gratitude. So, we are all in this partnership with the divine, with life, with each other. We're learning how to give freely and to receive freely. Say it with me, without attachment. Isn't that great? Doesn't that feel good? To know that if somebody loves you, it's unconditional. It's not based upon anything other than, I just want to love you. I just want to appreciate you. I just want to be around you, feel your energy, get to know you, be in partnership with you. Let's explore this thing together, right? Those are the kind of relationships that we want to have. And so as we give and receive, the doors of our perception begin to open up so that we can do what? Enjoy the relationships. Are you enjoying your relationships with yourself? Say with me, Something to think about, right? Are you enjoying your relationship with the people around you? With nature? If not, why not? So the higher mind gives us guidance as we go along to help us to firm up that connection and remember that connection. I mean, know that we're all connected. Somebody says, well, I'm disconnected. Well, you know what that means is that you were once connected. Oh. So what do you have to do? How many know if you want toast, you have to plug the toaster into the outlet? We had an electrician come by yesterday, and he was looking at all the electrical stuff, make sure it all worked right. And we told him, yeah, it's working, but we just want to make sure that we're safe, you know. Everything's copacetic with the powers that be, right? And I got to thinking about electricity, you know. If you're plugged in, you will feel the power. The power will go through you, right? Now, in electrical stuff, you don't want that. All right? I just want to be clear about that. But when we're talking about the divine electricity, I remember one time when we were ministers at this little church, and I was called to go way out into the country and visit this person. I went way out there and visited him. And he said, James, I have a theory about God. I said, oh, well, I want to hear your theory. Sure. Let's talk. He said, I believe that God is electricity. I said, oh, okay. I said, maybe you need to read a little bit of, what was the forefather's name that?
Oh, Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin, yeah. And study what he had to say about it. So I thought, well, that's an interesting theory, interesting idea, right? I don't know that I necessarily agree with, but I get the point. I get the point, right? And that kind of stayed with me. And in a little bit, I'll talk a little bit more about that electrical connection. But right now, we want to establish that the higher mind gives us guidance as we go along. Many times people are sitting around waiting for guidance when they just need to get up and start taking steps. And as you take the steps, you will feel those inner urges and hunches and quickenings and little taps on your shoulder and little people, come this way, come over here, go right, go left, pause, move forward, rest, laugh, work, follow your passion, your joy. And through doing that, we start to make connections with the higher mind, the inner intelligence that's already within you. You are smarter than you know. Say it with me. I'm smart.
I'm smart.
But it's all on the inside.
Yeah, so I always think about Indiana Jones in the movie where he was faced with the large canyon, whatever you want to call it, and he had to take a step in order for the stone to appear to walk across. So Spirit rarely gives us the entire map because it is a step-by-step process, because if we knew how everything was going to unfold, if we had the whole map, we wouldn't really be growing. We would just be pretending or performing.
Yeah,
we would
performing.
just be, there would be no growth in it.
That's right.
So Indiana Jones knew what he was doing, putting that foot forward.
Ah. So we're guided by the hunches, the nudges, the experiences, the dreams, the visions, the counsel that we receive. Everything has a voice. Everything has a voice. And if you listen to that voice, you'll understand that is the voice of God, the voice of the divine speaking to you. Where is the word of God? It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere present, all at once, here and now. It's not some dead letter, right, that just becomes, something that you memorize. It is a living expression or experience. Jesus was called the Word of God, right? And guess what? Look at the person next to you and say, so are you.
Yeah.
You are the Word, right?
Right.
So, let's talk about some clues.
Yeah, this morning we're going to give you 5 clues to discern Spirit's voice. So the first thing is, how do we tell the difference between when our brain is speaking to us and when Spirit is speaking to us? So I don't know about you, but with me, the brain it's like a loop. There's just a loop that goes on, and that loop is usually negative. It's usually worry or rehearsing something or regret about something, anger about something. But Spirit speaks in still small voice, right? It's almost like a whisper. Your brain can sound like a broken record, going through the same thing over and over and over, where Spirit is more like a breeze.
Yeah.
that just kind of, you have to listen for it, right? You have to be aware. But the first clue to discern Spirit's voice is to pause instead of reacting.
Mm.
Pause instead of reacting.
Yeah.
If someone cuts you off in traffic and you scream like they insulted your ancestors, that's not about the traffic. You understand that, right? That's Spirit saying, let's talk about your anger, shall we? And you say, no, not now. I'm honking. I'm busy honking. No, not now. But most people move too fast to hear the soft voice of Spirit. We're in too much of a hurry. We have a mind that's too full of thoughts, opinions. Don't tell me you don't have any of those. I know you do. Anxiety, fear, and those all become blocks to the universal voice of divinity. So we have to get quiet. Yeah. And did you know that in every piece of music that is written, between every note, there is a slight pause? Doesn't matter. It could be very, very quick or it could be lengthy, but there is a slight pause between each note. And there is a slight pause that happens when you hear something, you see something, you experience something, and your reaction to it. So it's learning to step into that pause before you go into the reaction. There are messages, there are letters, there are feelings. As you were saying, there are hunches that are coming our way all the time. But we are too busy, too much in a hurry to notice them. So it's good to stop and ask ourselves occasionally, okay, what am I feeling? When that thing comes up, if I'm going to pause, then let me quickly ask myself, what am I feeling? First, identify it. What am I feeling? And why or how is this affecting me? And the bigger question is not why is this happening to me, but what is trying to emerge here? What's trying to emerge in this? So awareness, being in a state of awareness, is what will allow that door to open so that we can get the messages that are coming our way. So you may say, well, who am I to think that God would talk to me? Who are you to think that God would not talk to you?
Are you so special that God would not talk to you?
Of course, Spirit speaks, right? Everything is changed with intelligence. Most people don't lack messages. I wrote this down. They lack the courage to hear what the message actually says. Because once you hear it, you might have to change.
Uh-oh.
And changing is harder than complaining. But not changing really is harder than anything. Because then you have to continue on with discomfort, disconnection.
Right, right.
So the first thing is to really learn to pause instead of reacting. And if someone says something to you, it's perfectly okay to say, give me just a second.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
I need a moment.
I need a moment. I'm having a moment. No. Give me a second.
Time out.
To honor that pause. And I will guarantee you that if you will do that, you will have a different response rather than the reaction that you might have originally just come out with. Habitually. We have habitual responses to things, don't we?
We've done it before. That's why it's a reaction.
Yeah.
React. I've acted this way before. Right?
Yes. Yes. So that's the first one.
Number 2 is asking questions. How many know that it's okay to question everything? Right? It's okay to question. Questioning is a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of opening. It's a sign of an inquiry. It's a sign
Curiosity.
of wanting to know, wanting to understand.
Yeah.
And the universe is responsive. The universe talks back. The universe reflects back to us. Okay? Now, suppose your car battery dies repeatedly. I had this happen to me once. I had to get a battery, then I had to get another battery because that one didn't work right. Then I had to get an alternator, if you know what that is. Do they still have alternators in cars? Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then you had issues with watches.
I had, watches. Every time I get a watch, it would just stop working. So, interesting, right?
What might be the message in that?
Yeah. Well, the question was, what's wrong with this battery?
Yeah.
It's a stupid battery. It's not working. It's the watch that isn't working.
Yeah.
It's something shorting out in the electrical system. And you do the practical stuff first. You replace the battery. You do what you need to do, right? And then you pause and you ask the question of yourself. Where in my life am I being spiritually drained? Say with me, right? Where am I being drained? Where am I disconnected? Is there a disconnection? Is there somebody in my life that I'm not really connecting with that maybe I need to be or want to be?
Mm-hmm.
If you continually lose things, you might ask, what part of myself have I lost touch with? What part of myself have I lost touch with? Have I lost a little bit of empathy? Self-care?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? And when you ask these questions, the universe will respond. If a door closes unexpectedly, you ever have that happen?
Mm-hmm.
You ask yourself, was I forcing something out of alignment? How many know sometimes we get pushy? Say it with me. I can be pushy sometimes. Some of you responded there.
I'm not sure I want to say that.
Or you might ask yourself, is this really the right timing? You see, sometimes when we want to, we put forth our prayers, our intentions, we have our goals, and we think we want it now. But I've discovered something about myself. I don't always know what I need. Okay? And there may be some things that need to come into my life first before I can handle that thing that I want to see in my life. Say with me, right?
Yeah.
So not every event, is going to be like thunder and lightning and mystical, But every event, if you let it, can become meaningful because it's you and I that give meaning to things.
Yeah.
Right? Look at that chair you're sitting on. Do you know that chair has absolutely no meaning at all until you give it meaning?
Mm-hmm.
Until you decide, hey, you got to hold me up. I'm going to sit on you, right? And you better hold me up. Yep. You give it the meaning. It's nothing until you need it, until you use it. And that's the way with everything. And that's why it's important to always be present with all of your interactions.
Yeah.
Right? Make sense?
Yeah. Well, asking those questions you were talking about, the battery issue with.
Yeah.
I remember a time when we had our sights set on a house long ago. And we prayed. So we were, sure that it was going to happen, that it was all done and taken care of. And things kept coming up and things kept coming up. But we still kept pushing and pushing, and things kept coming up. And finally, the deal fell apart. And it was like, why didn't God answer my prayers? I was so certain. And it was just like going back to Indiana Jones taking that step. If the whole path had been revealed, we would have known. Don't pursue this. It's not right for you. Turned out there were issues with the house. Thank God it didn't happen. And isn't that the response that we have most of the time when things like that happen? We go, well, thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's
glad I didn't marry her.
I don't understand why that.
That other girl, that other one. I'm glad I didn't marry her.
Okay.
Can we change the subject?
Okay.
I was just giving an example.
I know. But in walking through that path of uncertainty, not knowing where the next step is, it helps build our faith. It really does, because I can look back now on all those things that have unfolded like that. And when something happens now, it's much easier for me to go, okay, there's way too much, there's way too much resistance and stuff in this. So it's probably not meant to be. And I just need to back off. I saved myself a lot of angst by doing that.
And a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
Say amen, somebody.
Yeah. So, this idea of stopping and asking questions and leaning into, what is trying to unfold here, what's trying to emerge is really important.
Yeah.
So anyway, the third one, so you got the first tool was pause instead of react. The second tool was ask deeper questions. And the third one is notice emotional charges. So let's go back to you're stuck in traffic on Woodruff Road, right? And you start railing at the cars in front of you. Something is going on there that's triggering something in you, right? Spirit often speaks through what activates us emotionally. You better listen to this. This is good. Whatever deeply irritates you or inspires you, whatever wounds you or attracts you or fascinates you, may contain a message for you. And strong reactions to things are usually clues.
Mm.
Now, I know we come back to this. No, don't bother me now. I don't want to look at the anger. I'm too busy dealing with all these people. They're not doing what I want to do here on Woodruff Road. We push it off to the side, but it's trying to tell you something. When the same people keep showing up in your life, they're just wearing different clothes and they're in different bodies, but it's the same person. It's trying to tell you something.
Same energy, yeah.
God is speaking, Spirit is speaking, trying to tell you something. So sometimes the people who frustrate us the most are revealing some disowned part of ourself. I have looked back over my lifetime, and when I look at the people that I had issues with, my issues weren't really with them and that thing, because that thing was the very thing that I needed to look at and work on. What it was like, bing, you're shining in my face so bright I have to look at it and I don't want to. Therefore, I got an issue with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't the person. It was what was being shown to me. The message. Think about this. Deal with this, right? So when we stop and we consider What part of myself do I or should I look at? Could I look at that this is triggering? Why is this triggering me? What do I need to look at in myself? And when we do that, the answer can be very revelatory. So Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's profoundly metaphysical.
Yeah.
So think about what people, what places, what things speak to you.
Are you saying there's a reason for everything?
Notice what you're getting an emotional
okay.
charge from. There could be a clue there.
Very good. How many thought that was pretty good? That's pretty good.
Well, thank you.
So number 4
Uh-huh.
is look for repetition. Look for the repeating things. Spirit repeats lessons lovingly. Right? If the same issue keeps appearing,
Yeah.
It's like somebody says, well, when am I ever going to be done with this? Well, when you start paying attention and facing it, looking at it, because everything will resolve itself as you let it resolve. But it has to resolve in you first. Right? It has to resolve inside of me. Sometimes our boundaries are crossed. So what is that teaching us? Is that we need to learn how to allow space for yourself to grow and develop. Right? How many know you need to be taking care of your own property, your own house, your own temple, your own body, your own situation? It is so easy today, especially with social media, to go on there and talk about, oh, those people. Have you met those people? They're always doing crazy things, right? But sometimes people will cross your boundaries. And maybe you need to ask yourself, how can I make more space in my life, so that I can think more clearly, so that I can have peace, so that I can work through things? How many know that we all need space? Right? We need space. We need some space where we can, I don't know that I could ever live in a tiny home. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I could do it with myself. So what are you doing in here? You follow me around? That's my issue, right? Everybody has issues. But allowing for space inside yourself, letting go of all those cluttered thoughts, that constant thinking, analyzing, scrutinizing, trying to figure it all out. Well, when's this going to happen? When are they going to, leave me alone? And our brains are so cluttered with stuff. There's no space. There's no room. So you just got to take a breath. And say it with me. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. All right? There should be a song.
There should be.
Trust issues. Am I always being overly suspicious? If you have trust issues, many times you maybe, say it with me, maybe. You might be a little too suspicious. Now, I mean, know that we have to feel the energy and know what's going on. That's important. But not everybody's out to get you. Not everything's a conspiracy. It's like one day a guy was telling me, he said, I went over into the corner and I was talking to this guy, and I could tell the people on the other side of the room, they were talking about me. And I was one of those people. And we weren't talking about them. We were talking about totally something else, Yeah. And so, and it could be maybe that you felt betrayed in your life. Well, what do you do with that? Well, you heal the betrayal, right? You let go of that, so you make room. Make room. Money. Is money constantly an issue? Can you relax about money? See, the more uptight you get about it, the more you push it away, the more complicated it becomes. But when you can relax and learn how to let it go, stop making everything about money, because money is not the issue. When you look in the mirror, you look at that guy and say, hey, you're the issue. It's not about the money. It's almost always about something else, right? Self-worth. Are my feelings that I have about myself keeping me from experiencing a fuller experience with life? How do you feel about yourself? Really? You should sit down and journal it and write it out and say, how do I feel? Because it's important to know how you feel. Because if you don't know, there's no way I'm going to know, right? And forgiveness. Constant difficulty with others could be a reflection that you need to forgive yourself. Oh, so it's not always about forgiving them. Many times it's about forgiving yourself. And speaking up. Do you say what you need to say in the moment? Not in a cruel way, not in a mean way, but you say, sweetie, I have this thing I want to talk to you about.
Oh gosh, here we go again. I've heard this. I've heard this before.
Well, I love you, right?
Yeah.
So what the vibe that I'm getting here is that she doesn't want to talk about it. So this is the inappropriate time. I want to wait until the timing is right? I mean, it's all about timing. And then when she's like, oh, yeah,
Oh, baby.
See? Now that's a better vibe. It's a little weird, but it's a much better vibe.
That was a little weird.
So, but life isn't out to punish us. That's so important.
Yeah.
We've got this horrible idea that life just wants to beat us up and punish us. But it's not true. Say it with me. It's not true. Let that go. Right? Life is your tutor. It's your teacher. It's your reflector. It's your supporter. It's your assistant. It's your communication device. It's all of that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give them the last one.
Well, the fifth one is develop inner stillness. When I was in my early teens, 12, 13, 14 years old, I used to lay in front of the television set, because back then we had TVs that sat on legs or, sat on the floor, right? Lay on the floor and watch the TV and fall asleep. And the minute my mother would come in and turn it off, I'd go, don't turn that off, I'm watching it. She'd go, no, you're not, you're asleep. Yes, I am, I'm watching it. There's something about having something going in the background that distracts us from the inner voice. Sometimes we do it just unconsciously. We've got to have the radio on. We've got to have some kind of noise going. Some of us will run the radio and the TV at the same time. Because if we get quiet, we might hear something. But that's what we want to develop. We want to develop inner stillness. You can't hear that soft, breezy whisper of spirit if you're constantly distracted.
Yeah.
And if you've got constant chatter going on in your head. So prayer, meditation, silence, contemplation, having some quiet journaling time, taking nice, quiet walks where you're noticing nature, doing some reflective reading, all of these things will help you develop an inner stillness and help tune your awareness to that. Because when you're tuned into it, you're going to hear it more easily. Right? So you have to understand, you don't hear something because God suddenly starts speaking. Spirit is speaking. We hear it because we get quiet enough to suddenly hear it.
Mm.
So let me ask you, has this ever happened to you? Because it's going to happen this week, I'll guarantee you, and I'll tell you why in a second. A woman prayed, God, give me patience. And the next week, her internet failed. Someone cut her off in traffic. Her grandkids spilled juice on her new carpet. And customer service put her on hold for 47 minutes. Finally, she cried, God, why is this happening? And Spirit whispered, because you asked for patience. Now, you've been given 5 clues to discern Spirit's voice. One of those has been pausing before reacting. Asking deeper questions was the second one. The third one, noticing emotional charges. The fourth one, looking for repetition. Now, I guarantee you that this week, you're going to be either emotionally charged by something, or there's going to be a repetitive pattern that you're going to notice, or you're going to react to something in a way that when it's over, you go, man, why did I do that? And it's because growth happens in these disguises of your ordinary life. We have to practice these things that we hear on Sundays so that we just do them like this. Because at the most traumatic and chaotic places and times in your life, you don't want to have to be going, now what is that I'm supposed to do? I know that, right? You want it to just be right there because you've practiced it. Being still.
Yeah.
The goal is not to become a mystic who levitates.
That'd be kind of fun, though, wouldn't it?
That seems to be kind of like what we're all, when I become totally enlightened and nothing ever bothers me anymore, and I can levitate and I can come down off the mountain and be with the people. The goal is not that. And the goal is not to be constantly asking, why is this happening to me? Why did that happen? Why me? Why not you? The better question, again, is what is trying to emerge in and through you and in your life? Again, stop looking at everything as being punishment and lean into the understanding that it is your curriculum. And in that, you are experiencing the growth you need in this life. And I know some of it's unpleasant. I get it. I do. But the sooner and the quicker you recognize it and deal with it, you can put it in your rearview mirror. The longer you push it off and refuse to deal with it, the longer you have to put up with it. Ask me how I know. Right? So 5 things there to help you this week. Take them home and practice them.
Yeah. Yep. So let's just breathe together. Let your mind be still and your body relax. Know that you're in a safe place this morning. God is here now. Everything that you need in this moment, it's here. All of it. Whatever it is. Especially if you need guidance. If you're paying attention, God is speaking. Sending love letters, writing love letters to you every day. Little notes, little texts. It's all around us. Sometimes nature is a beautiful representation. Why do we call it nature? Well, it's the nature of the divine. It's reflecting back to us the love and the care. Jesus said, look at the flowers. Look at them, how beautiful they are. And sometimes they just show up in unexpected places. So wherever you go, whatever you do, you know that you're being supported, you're being taken care of, you're being guided. What you need will come to you, or you will move towards it. And you'll meet with the opportunities, the people. You'll be at the places in the right timing. We just need to relax a little bit and follow our joy. Follow the highest and the best. Look for the good. In the scriptures it says if you look for the Christ will appear. You will have eyes to see. New eyes. New understandings. A different perception than you've had before. And it's a beautiful thing. So breathe easy. And just take a moment to be grateful for what you've already received. And if you know of someone else that you'd like to bring up in this moment of healing and prayer, I invite you to visualize them or maybe even whisper their name now. They're on your heart. And then surround them with your prayers, with good thoughts, good energy, holding space. Holding space this morning. And trusting in a higher power that knows what they need better than we know, and most of the time better than they even know. So we trust in the healing power. We trust in the divine wisdom. And we bless them with our prayers. Now, give thanks. And so now I invite you to sit for just a moment in the silence, taking a moment to receive whatever you need here and now. So in the name of all that is sacred and holy and good, we say, so be it, and so it is. Amen.